Thank you, everyone. First of all, to start off, I'd like to thank the Australian Data Science Network and especially Tim for organizing this event and for inviting me to be a part of it. So before I start off, a disclaimer, I'm still very early on in this journey of data science. So it was incredibly inspiring to me to listen to all the other speakers before me who are far ahead in their journeys and who've actually um, faced so many challenges and actually made a career even out of it. So, as Farzana mentioned, I am a PhD student at Monash University. And as I just take you over a slight glimpse of my journey so far, you'll learn that I am quite self taught in this domain. So, just let me start off just to share where I started. So, in school, I was most definitely a math nerd. I was that student who'd love to spend a significant amount of time to crack a tough problem and still enjoy every step of it. And I think it was the fact that it was challenging. And for me, I think discovering those and trying to understand how systems worked was something I was keen very early on. And in school, I had some very inspiring teachers who I'm still in touch with today, who really made me aware that I do want to study and have a career in math later on. But as soon as high school was over, I faced this massive challenge because I didn't know what I could do next. So I'm from Sri Lanka. The options were quite limited. For example, I wanted to do a degree in mathematics, but as a private school student, I had absolutely no options back then. And, the stereotypes being that if you did maths, you can study engineering. So that's what I moved on to next. And once again, I was very passionate in doing biomedical engineering or even chemical engineering. And once again, due to the lack of options, um, few months later, I started a bachelor's in mechanical engineering. But once again, as I started, I heard a lot from people that mechanical engineering is not suitable for a girl, that it was a predominantly a male dominated field. And I'm not sure if it was exactly because of that influence, but it I found much more passion in electronics engineering, so which is what I ended up pursuing. But that was also the start of my career in data science, where for my final year research, I actually did a research in Sinhala Sign Language recognition, where I was able to use machine learning and mathematical techniques to find and recognize a selected set of Sinhala signs from a video. And it was during this time that Dr. Thilini Rajakaruna from Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology, who was my thesis supervisor, I think I owe quite a lot of my journey to her guidance at a time where research was a completely new aspect for the entire cohort of students, where we didn't even know how to start a research or even to tackle a research. I still remember how she guided me through the entire process, whether it was like literature review or data collection. And throughout the entire process, I think she was someone who really inspired me to pursue research. And thereafter, I was a research assistant and academic instructor at my same university, where I was lucky to be a part of a project which was a culturally sensitive autism assessment tool. And my goal or my role in this project was to build a head pose estimation model and to build a framework to assess a clinical task used in the diagnosis of children with autism. And this was also quite a challenging experience for me, whether it was from the data collection where we went into hospitals to collect data from small children who had autism. And given the fact that I didn't have a formal education in computer science or info technology, it was quite challenging for me to navigate through finding new, finding the most updated methods to solve my problems and so on. But once again, I had a great supervisor, Dr. Pradeepa, who I found inspirational not only in terms of the skills, but also in terms of work ethics. I found that, managing such a large project with teaching, with all kinds of other responsibilities, is something that I found very inspirational at the time. And even though it was quite daunting approaching maybe machine learning and deep learning techniques, learning them on my own, I think the experience of having such supportive supervisors was an incredible opportunity for me. And I think those experiences working with different other projects as well at the time was what drew me to data science. So the versatility in the problems and that the opportunities that they bring. And I think that's when I realized that I always want to be in this domain where it fulfills my passion to keep learning because this field is growing at an exponential rate still, and it will continue to grow as contrast to being maybe an electronics engineer or automation engineer, which was that something I could have done with my bachelor's. So I did realize that I wanted to apply my skills in maybe a health domain or a domain which is very close to the human aspect. So that's why it led me to Monash University, where I'm currently in my second year of PhD in the Department of Data Science and AI. And my current project is brain imaging and predicting neuropharmacological effects via EEG. Just to give you a brief idea about what I'm working on right now. So essentially, it's applying spatiotemporal time frequency analysis methods on EEG, which is a brain imaging technique, while patients are exposed to anesthesia and are under surgery. And what I are currently working on is extracting statistical features which correlate with different states of responsiveness of patients throughout this time when they are under anesthesia, and also using machine learning techniques to predict their responsiveness following a painful stimulus, like, for example, when a laryngoscope might be inserted into the patient during surgery. So once again, applying, I think for me, the interdisciplinary aspect of this research is what drives me the most, but also is what's most challenging. So I would just like to end my talk by just mentioning few of my daily motivators when it comes to my mother, who never restricted me from what I wanted to pursue, because even when I knew I wanted to study maths, they were never the parents who, told me, no, you should be a doctor instead, which is something I think is very common in my kind of society as well. My great supervisors, Dr. Thilini and Dr. Pradeepa, and also the rest of my PhD cohort from the Faculty of IT at Monash University. So I owe a lot to these different women who inspire me on a daily basis, and also where to hear from next. So I think for me, I'm passionate about continuing research as also being in the academic field. And I hope that one day I'll be able to inspire students the way that these people have inspired me as well. Thank you.